Guys, I told you earlier that being distracted by what's on television can lead you away from the truth. And what you've got to recognize is that in almost every instance that nations have gone to war with each other, it's been about resources and it's been bigger than we realize. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about tonight in a brand new Grains of Sand. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, man.
It has been a while.
It is a classic, sir. So let's take it over to Eastern Europe immediately. Ukraine aims to produce enough uranium for their nuclear energy needs. That's interesting to think about. You're telling me that the Ukraine has some level of uranium reserves or uranium production or uranium importation? What's happening there? Also, it turns out they're trying to use nuclear energy. That's interesting, too. What's happening with all of that?
Real interesting.
And why is that maybe important?
And why did they paint the top of that blue so that planes couldn't see it?
And to make it more difficult,
Right.
just in case. Right? So let's take a look at what's called a uranium map. Now, I know it's kind of small to see here, but if you zoom in, what this map would reveal to you
is uranium fever.
That's right, uranium fever in the Ukraine. As it turns out, there's a shitload of fucking uranium under Ukraine. Realizing that one fact, friends, think about that for a second. Think about that for just a hot second. Think back on Grains of Sand. Think back on Red Dusk. And think about me telling you about the new axis of power, China, Russia, and Iran. And Iran being treated like their little bitch boy as they try to create a new Western passage across the border between Asia and Europe. Huh? How fucking long have I been telling you all this? And by the way, where do you think the Ukraine lies? Clearly, direction is still at a loss, but suffice it to say that those resources are rich in the Ukraine. So what can we realize by knowing that? All this bullshit about a new USSR and about whether or not it's former commies or former Nazis tonight in the main event. And whatever, dude. I don't want to hear all of that shit because it's not what it's really about, man. You already know what it's really about. And it says it right here, plain as fucking day. You don't even need the question mark. Are Ukraine's vast natural resources a real reason behind Russia's invasion? Yes.
Shit.
Answer is yes.
Shit.
Answer to that question is
and
yes.
And that includes
uranium. Now let's try to remember, what was Russia doing with uranium since they weren't building missiles themselves? Them and China were shipping it to Iran. You mean you're supplying materials to a fall guy? Now that we can realize that maybe this is a contributing factor, once you start putting that in perspective, it becomes clear that it's in all likelihood the primary contributing factor. As Russian forces roll into eastern Ukraine, Putin grabs yet another prize: uranium ores and energy reserves. Oh boy. You mean the things you need to wage war? You need fuel and you need weapons. You mean the kinds of things you'd have to have in order to go on a World War scale campaign. And all of that was available in eastern Ukraine, right on the goddamn border.
Jesus Christ.
Now, here's the thing. Where does Russia get ideas like this, man? We've had them in check for a while.
Luthor?
But the thing is, man, there comes a point where temptation overtakes valor for evil men. And that's how they end up going that way. And that is what happened here in many ways, too. This article's blocked off, but the title is revealing. Before the invasion, Ukraine's lithium wealth is drawing global attention. Oh, what? What?
God damn it.
He is going after resources so that he is prepared to launch a larger campaign.
Yep.
God damn it. Open your fucking eyes. All right? So once we realize this, friends, and once we recognize that surely Russia does not do this on their own in the age of a new axis, where the new allies, by the way, are the United States, Japan, and Australia. Who would have guessed that one? I tell you what, South Korea is kind of dope too. But beyond that, man, now we're dealing with Russia, Iran, who they've been supplying for a long time. We know this already. Right. And who they've been buddying up to. Who's been getting real bold on the world stage, especially now that they're best friends with another gigantic country. Surprise. China says no to sanctioning Russia, vows to continue normal trade co-op. Surprise. When the UN voted on whether or not they should sanction Russia on invading Ukraine, China was like, nah, let them do it. Yeah, who could guess why, huh? As all of that happens, China all of a sudden comes out and demands that the U.S. be the ones to come out and fix this. Did you just hear what I fucking said?
Wow.
Best friends with Russia, China, who abstained from the vote on whether or not to sanction them, then turns around and demands that the United States is the one to play world police. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
And we're still giving money to the UN? China finally decides to just up and reveal what their fucking game is with this whole thing. China broke its silence on Russia's invasion to say it's gravely concerned about Ukraine's nuclear plants. Really? So China was fine with everything Russia did until they almost fucked up the power source.
Yeah.
Really? Fucking really? Jesus goddamn Christ, China. You're saying the quiet part out loud again, guys.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta stop doing that. You're trying to tell us to play world police, and then you're like, ooh, save the nukes. Get out of your fucking mind. But it would be funny if China didn't go, oh, whoops, we better make sure we're clear about where we stand with this happening for us. And after they reveal they're involved, China suddenly goes, oh, by the way, Taiwan's not like Ukraine. No, that's totally right. What's going on over there?
Our situation.
We don't know about this.
Different.
It's okay when we do it. It's totally cool if we do it. Does anybody remember China directly threatening military action against Taiwan if the United States got involved?
Oh, yeah.
That is directly what they said they would do. But, oh, it's not the same. Oh, it's okay when we do it. Yeah. Now it's embroiled. It's a little bit embroiled. Now the United States is looking to fucking turn Russia and China, try to salvage the Iran nuclear deal. Let me ask you how you think that's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? You think we're making a deal? The only way we're making a deal there if Iran is able to prevent themselves from ever getting sanctioned by the United Nations. That's the only reason they take a deal, because they're obviously being funded and supplied by Russia and China. We've seen it! Do you not remember the ships that were being stolen near Cuba and they repainted them to look like they were from somewhere else in order to ship weapons?
Yeah.
We saw it! Fuck, man.
Absolutely.
These are not conspiracies. These are grains of sand, my friends. Well, now we've put all our eggs in a stupid fucking basket. United States hope for Iran nuclear talks now rests on China and Russia. Oh, good. What could go wrong? I'm sure they won't ask it for anything unreasonable.
No.
You know what I mean?
They never have before.
God damn. And they definitely aren't hedging their bets on Iran. Oh, wait, they have been. Why Russia and China are building up Iran? Yeah, y'all already know. If you watch the show, you already know about this part.
Yep.
Oh,
we
boy.
have not yet. I'll tell you, though, you've been talking
boy.
about this for how many years? 3 years now?
Yeah.
And we have yet to see an article that lays it out that clearly. Russia, China, and Iran in the same headline. We have yet to see that. And you called that shit years
long ago, man. And by the way, man, Russia is making sure to chime in after their buddies from China did and says that the West's sanctions, by the way, this is code for the United States.
Right.
I don't
West
know if
is
you know
us.
that. Russia says the West's Sanctions create a problem. So you're already prefacing to say that when the deal goes wrong, which you know it will because it's not profitable for you, that you can blame it on sanctioning coming from the United States. Now it makes even more sense that your friends in China would abstain from a United Nations vote.
Yep.
You understand what the fuck I'm saying here, man?
They're holding all the cards, man.
So who's got the nukes? That's the real question. When all this shit is happening and there's all this supply moving all over the place, where the fuck are the nukes? Let's take a look by nation. This is last year, by the way. Russia's number one, ahead of us, by the way. By about 1,000. Now that varies a little bit. Available, active, and retired. There are numbers there for that, so we won't get too specific.
Right.
China has next to none available. Now, isn't that interesting? Look at these numbers. Without breaking it down, Russia with 6,200, United States with 5,500, China with 350, and then it's a huge drop-off after that. China with 350, China with 350, China with 350. Huh.
Sounds low.
Does sound a little bit low.
You know
why would the highest population center on the planet be at less than they're at approximately a 20th of what Russia's got? And who did they just make friends with in the last few years? And what country could they be setting up to hide that shit for them?
Well, probably a country that is not on that list because they're not being honest.
Oh, gee, who's conspicuously absent from this top 10 list? Really? Oh, that's very interesting. The United Kingdom is on. Okay. All right, guys. I'm not worried about the bottom.
So you're telling me
I am.
that the United Kingdom has almost as many nukes as China?
Yep. That's what
Really?
that's what they're saying. And let me tell you something else. In a communist country like China, state-controlled media never lies on the international scale.
Never.
There's certainly
Same
nothing
with that
going
country
on
we're
there.
talking about that's not on the list.
Okay.
All that stuff is straight up.
So you see who had them. Let's talk again about a western passage through Asia. And let's take a look at a map here real quick if we can. You see China here and Russia, of course. And the things that are, look at that western, so starting from India and working your way to the UK. You see what I'm talking about? That western passage. West of Asia, all through kind of South Asia and Europe.
Pakistan,
right there.
Afghanistan, yeah, Iran, Turkey.
So you've seen them putting the squeeze on India. United States has come to their aid in South China Sea already. You've seen that. Iran, see what's happening there and who their fucking loyalty lies with. Now look at the positioning of the Ukraine. Isn't that interesting? It almost seems like once you could surround these larger countries, Kazakhstan, Mongolia, all these things, maybe they're not military powers, but it should be a pretty easy romp to walk over all that. Russia, China, and everything from India to, let's say, the Ukraine even, that is a gigantic block. That is gigantic. Those are huge borders, a lot of which are water and or frozen.
Right.
But I've got to show you guys a photograph, and I want you to look at the looks on the faces of these two men. And I want you to tell me this is not the fucking new Axis.
Dude.
Jesus Christ. Look at this fucking picture.
That's terrifying.
Nothing to be concerned about,
I mean,
huh?
what do you think they're shaking hands about right there?
These are the guys that the UN is putting their trust in while telling the United States no. Even though we are their number one financial contributor, we're getting a raw deal.
Yep. Big time.
How deep does it really go with them working together? Oh, guys, I mean, it's all the way. You know what I mean? China asked Russia to delay the Ukraine invasion until after the Olympics, says our intel. Damn, that timing sure did coincide too, didn't it?
Sure did.
As soon as the fucking Olympics were over, god damn.
Sure as fuck did, dude.
Wow, and that's coming from our own domestic intelligence.
Wow.
But why is the United States media so back and forth about their stance here? Why are they purposely making it confusing to American citizens? Why are they jerking off instead of making decisions? Well, too many people that are big contributors to political campaigns are wrapped up in all of this shit. Like this guy right here, who is known best for attempting to block out the sun. Bill Gates developed nuclear reactors that helped China take over the U.S. military. Okay, first of all, this is Breitbart, so this whole that helped China, blah, that, okay, that's slanted as hell.
Sure.
The fact is he has nuclear power interests in a foreign country. Okay? And yet we're telling people they should boycott Coca-Cola. They should boycott McDonald's because they're not pulling out of countries that are clearly setting themselves as opposition for us. And yet, who boycotts Windows?
Right. You throwing out your computer?
Or Moderna, for that matter, because let's not forget who started that company for $20 million. And their first product they ever made was land-breakingly effective.
Yeah.
Good Lord, man. This is rough. The New York Post? This is rough. The fucking New York Post? It's on my side with this?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the Post has been coming around.
With the United States distracted by the Ukraine, Xi Jinping and the Beijing bling are plotting their own invasion. I've been saying it. I've been saying it for 10 damn years. Ain't I been saying it? I've been saying it.
Yeah.
God, these motherfuckers, dude. It's to the point that mainstream media in the United States is having to finally admit, yes, there's a real problem here. It's gone so far that it's starting to get a little bit more fucking direct. Preparing for war with China, 2025 to 2032. God damn, they got projections already.
Yeah.
They got projections already, friends.
Fucking A, man.
Let's remember something real important about the next World War. No one can win. No one can win. We have the power to destroy humanity. If we use it, it's over.
Yep.
If we don't fucking find a way, man. If we don't fucking find a way, it could be the end of Western civilization as we know it. We cannot allow nuclear war to begin on any scale. It has to act as a deterrent. It has to act as a deterrent. And if you don't believe me, look at this picture again, friends. And you look right at the faces of these two men, and you tell me that they wouldn't sacrifice it all just to get rid of the United States. It is ultimately important to avoid nuclear conflict. It will not end well. You understand what I'm saying? People you care about will die. But in order to stop the new axis of power, here in the foul year of our whale, 2022, desperate measures may have to be taken. Because if things don't change course in the next year or two with all of this, we could be looking at our generation ended up being a couple of very important pages in the book of human history. And that's the whale's honest truth. Yeah, that Ukrainian was valuable as shit. Right, so I hope that a lot of you out there, you're seeing this and you're going, oh shit, and it's unraveling the things in your brain. Who's got their eagle screen out there already, friends?